Hello, 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 hello. How is everyone tonight? I hope we are all doing fine. Okay, so I don't know how often I'm going to be working on this on stream. Probably a lot. For my webtoons, I've decided to actually go with try and do something just completely ongoing. I've got the first page written out for it, and I'm not sure where I'm going from there with it. It's about some of my characters, the Secret Warriors. So we'll see where it goes. Secret Warriors. We'll just say page 1. Actually, these might get put in issues, but for now, they're not. So how it? Oh, we need to share this out too. Dum 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 dum. Okay, there's that one. Copy link. Okay, so then up next is Parlor. Okay, now we just need to put this on Discord, right there. Cross Comments After Dark. There we go. And we're all set to go. Okay, there we go. We are all set up. There we go. Hey, John. Hello?
Can you not hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know.
What are you drawing?
I'm doing for my webtoons. I'm taking a little bit of advice and going to be trying to do an ongoing story, and I'm going to use my Holy Warriors characters from it. Not Holy Warriors, my Secret Warriors. Basically, my World War II heroes. And I've written out what I want for the first page. So I'm drawing up the the panel for it right now. And hello, Rebellious. Something weird happened.
9 panels on 1 page?
No, 8.
Oh, okay. It makes a world of difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
This top panel doesn't get divided in two. There's the big
in twain. So, Rick, I'm at a crossroads here.
Yeah.
I'm torn. I don't know how to make a Christian comic. That's not true. I don't know how to make a successful and appealing Christian comic. That's the problem.
Oh no, the dreaded 9-panel layout. No, not as you probably heard. Not quite 9 panels. Well, I'm not sure whether the Buckler is the best character. If the Buckler is the one that you want to do it with, or whether you want to create some other character.
No, it could be anything. It could be a dinosaur for all I care.
Yeah. Somebody asked if I had an OnlyFans. It's weird, but not weird. I would say, unfortunately, a lot of maybe YouTubers might get, especially that are female, might get asked that question.
I get asked that question all the time, right?
If you had an OnlyFans account.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some people are they're a glutton for punishment, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I'm glad I don't get asked that. Although my answer would be no, obviously. Well, I'm demi-gendered asexual. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, a lot of the world sees just what we person looks like on the outside and determines whether they look male or female, and if they look female and then they look hot, to them they want to know, they want to sometimes see certain stuff that they shouldn't be seeing.
Shameful.
Yeah. So what has brought this on for you, John, wanting to create a Christian comic that is successful, or however you want to word it?
Look, I whether or not it's successful, that's not up to me, really.
Yeah.
What I want is to make a compelling and quality Christian comic. A comic that accomplishes multiple things. The main thing that it should accomplish, more than anything else, could this comic in some way or form bring someone to Christ? Is that possible through a comic?
Is it possible? Yes. I won't say it's not possible because I'm sure
I'm not even sure it is possible.
There are lots of Christian quote-unquote comics out there. And I'm sure through some of them, it has. Like I know there is the Christian Archies. There's the chick comic ones. And I don't mean they're little track type ones. They have a bigger type set. Actual comic books, but not superhero or anything like that. It's supposed to be more informative type stuff. Almost documentary form in comics. And of course,
boring and awful.
Yeah, well, depends on what you're into. And then of course,
what the hell does demi-gendered mean?
I have no idea. And then of course there is all the Bible story type stuff that has been done over the years.
With this is that like a demigod, but like demi-gendered?
I have no idea. Maybe Rebellious will tell us if she's still here. And then, of course, there's angels and demons stuff. And then there's all sorts of other miscellaneous type stuff.
Yeah, but I sit here and I wonder, Rick, because like I've never actually. Now I would say this: when it comes to evoking emotion, evocative, right? There's a medium out there that's much better than comic books.
TV?
And that's film.
Yeah. Film.
Can you think of any movie that could bring someone to Christ? Because from what I see it, the way I see it, it seems like all this stuff is basically just propaganda, and not in a bad way, but it's propaganda, and it's something that you would buy so that you could give it as some sort of a supplemental entertainment to either yourself or your kids or your family, whatever.
Yeah. Well, all of this wouldn't be
like, for instance, there would be comic books, Christian comic books available, in a Sunday school or whatever. Given that you're already in that atmosphere, this is why these things are around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey, Sketchbook. Yeah. And everybody says, I'm a demigirl, which means part girl, part non-binary. Girls and everyone in between.
So, like 1/4 girl.
I guess so. Now, I'm not sure whether I consider this a Christian film in the strictest sense, although a lot of people probably would. Think of the Passion of Christ. That Mel Gibson did. That did do stuff. I'm not sure whether it exactly brought people to Christ, but there was lots of people like turning themselves in after watching it. If they committed crimes and all that, and they watched that and they turned themselves in. Now, whether they had a religious experience in coming to Christ, I can't say. I just know about those stories about people turning themselves in and stuff like that.
What do you mean turning themselves in?
Like they were
to the police or what?
Yeah, to the police. I know I heard about stories like that. I believe they're true. Forget where I heard about it, but Metal says Rules 37. There are no girls on the internet. Flit says
I got my math completely wrong. If you're half girl and half non-binary, then that makes you 3/4 girl, right?
Well, she said part and part. She didn't say half and half. She didn't say exactly what part.
Well, if she would have said 3 things, then maybe it would be more conclusive.
Okay. It could be 40 of one, 60 of the other.
We need to get the detective squad on this.
let's see. Flit says, "You mean like Passion of the Christ, Dillard?" There, the Mel's through the prophet Mel gives them all things are possible. Sketchbook says, "No trinket nor book, including the Bible, even movie, can bring anyone to the Messiah. The Scripture vehemently is vehement about this. It is Yahweh that leads someone to Messiah." True, Sketchbook, but he can't use these tools, for lack of a better way of saying it.
Well, think of a better way of saying it.
Well, they are tools in the sense, just to share the gospel, to preach it, or however you want to say it.
Now that's something that I need to get. I need to get hammered down before any progress can be made, which is why I'm kind of stuck on this first question. I can make comic book characters all day long. It's not a thing to make a comic book character.
No.
About, doodle a crazy costume and give them a story. But when it comes to what is the purpose, we've got to be sober-minded about this stuff when we're talking about something as heavy as your Lord and Savior.
Yeah.
What is the reason for the book? And if it is not possible to bring someone to Christ through a book other than the good book, is there a point in even endeavoring to do so? Or we could just accept the fact that this in and of itself will not bring people to Christ, but I can make some sort of entertaining propaganda?
I think you have to, as I am one trying to do it, you do have to strike a decent balance. As I've said with my comics, I don't want it to be, yes, do I want it to be a bit of Christian entertainment? Sure. Because, I want people to buying it on a regular basis. Do I want it to teach the message of Christ, preach the message of Christ through it? Yes. Do I want to be overbearing with it? No. Because
I don't think you're actually addressing the question with your response. There's a way to do things tastefully, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, is it even possible, even if you have the message all up in their face? Now, this is what I think is possible, and correct me if I'm wrong, because there is nothing that can bring anyone to God except God and His Word.
Yeah.
So the more of His Word you have in a book, the more likely, according to the lore of the Bible, the more likely it is that person will then in turn turn to Christ. So I think probably the best avenue, if your goal is to bring people to Christ through your work, is to do something like the Action Bible.
Yeah, but there's the thing. Some people won't pick up an Action Bible. A lot of people won't pick up an Action Bible, but they will pick up a comic book.
Rick, you know the sales figures. Nobody picks up comic books.
Well, you know what I mean. Joe Blow, who's never been to church, doesn't really have anything to do with church. Like us, a lot of comic book nerds, they're going to pick up a comic book before they'll pick up a Bible. And even if it's the Bible in comic book form, I think they'd be even less likely to pick that, just as less likely to pick that up as a regular comic book. Or as a regular Bible, I should say. Let's see. Got a couple things being said here in the chat. I read that. Rebellion says Mallet streams. My sketchbook says it's why Messiah says that no man can come to him except Yahweh draws him to him. it's why Yeshua says many times, "Who call how says many who call me Lord will not inherit the kingdom of God." True. Metal says Yahweh is my favorite war god. But see, Yahweh is actually war, love, all of them, all in one. Sketchbook says.
Well, that's why it's his favorite.
Yeah.
He likes those Mary Sues.
Sketchbook says even if you lead to Messiah, that doesn't say that you will inherit the kingdom, because few are chosen. Where were you, Metal? Metal had problems with his internet all last week, or most of last week. Sketchbook says, yes, Messiah can use anything to give a message. He constantly uses one sin to teach us. The thing he can use doesn't mean we have the license to make things for his use. I'm not sure exactly what you mean, Sketchbook. Metal saying, I'm waiting for my query for my league teammate to wrangle his kids. Metal and Tanker playing League of Legends over on probably both of their channels. And Raggedy says, Canadian Jen Pasky over here. Hey, Mallet. What is being discussed? What is being discussed is whether a comic book can bring somebody to Christ. I guess is the best way to say it. Sketchbook also says, "Coup" is pronounced "coup." Rick. Love is war, Rick. The same thing. To some
and
people,
war is hell,
yeah.
So that means that love is hell.
Sketchbook says, it's a matter of where your heart is. Again, Jesus said, these people praise me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. You must lead by the Spirit. And we're caught up with the chat.
Rick, it was 7:19 when you started reading that chat.
Yeah. Well,
it is now 7:23. You gotta pick and choose what you read, Rick.
Yeah.
I sat here in silence the entire time, out of respect.
Well, if he was able to, Sketchbook could come on and try and get in on this conversation if he wanted.
Mallet would have a good perspective on this conversation.
But then again, if you're led by the Spirit, then it has to be tested, because all spirits are to be tested. There is also rules, because we can't sin to serve the Lord.
I don't understand what any of that has to do with my question.
Well, I say it's possible that a comic book can be a tool to lead somebody to Christ. Can Christ use a comic book for somebody to lead them to them? Hey, if he can use a donkey in the Old Testament, why not? Well, it's not exactly the same, but to give a message. Mallet says I would, but it's bedtime. I have a book to read. Hopefully it's the good book.
It is. I got another problem, Rick. And I'm not going to get off this subject until I get a firm answer. But I got another problem. There is a product. I won't go into what the product is. It's not important. But what is important is the presentation, right? These things are collectibles, right?
The comic books, you mean, or whatever?
No, I didn't say that. I was going to say what I was collecting. I'm just saying they're collectibles. It's not germane to the question. What is germane is that these collectibles, I got one of them from a long time ago. from the same company, but it comes in a different package now. The package before was very ugly. And these things are worth the same whether they're in or out of the package. But now I got a newer one. And this newer one has a very slick, very attractive package.
Yeah.
So, do I keep them in the package and have my OCD deal with the fact that they're not in the same type of packaging so they don't all look the same? Or should I take all of them out of the package and put them into a different display, one that's uniform?
No, if they're going to be worth the same price no matter what, I would say just do whatever's best for you. Or maybe take the one that you think looks good, keep it in a good package, the decent package, and then take the other one and put it in a display that you like.
Well, here's the issue. It's not because Travis is saying the older packaging could eventually be worth money due to it being a classic.
Yeah.
No. Not for this particular item. I guess I'm going to have to say what it is. Okay, it's gold. And it comes from a Sayer company, and it's in a blister package. And the blister package is it's the package, it's like a tamper evident package. If you tamper with it, it becomes extremely obvious that you have tampered with it. It bubbles up, it starts to curl, it looks terrible, Somebody's been trying to get into this. Now, the packaging is worthwhile because it has something called Veriscan. Meaning, if you don't have access to some sort of a machine to test whether or not it's real, you can scan the back of it with your phone, if you have the app, and it'll tell you it's this serial number and it is genuine. However, with or without the package, if you can get to somebody that does have a device to tell you that it is real, it's worth the same amount of money.
Uh-huh.
But the old packaging is garbage. Garbage. Just ugly, ugly garbage. The new one looks like a credit card almost. It's very nice, very slick.
Well, I would, like I said, I'd suggest, if you like the new packaging, keep it and put the other one in some sort of display or whatever that you would like.
Yeah, but the older ones, I only have like 2. I got them a long time ago. And it's like, you don't have 2 of something and it's a collection,
Yeah.
It's a pair. It's not a collection.
So you just have the one in the old and the one in the new, right?
No, I got 2 in the old, and I have 1 in a new package. And the new package is nice.
Well, you could take one out of the old and put it in some sort of a new display or packaging, whatever you want to call it. See whether you like it like that. And then, like you said, it's not going to be worth any more or less money, so it's really just
not Combi Bars Flit, the Pamp Suisse. I like the Pamp Suisse more. It's the Lady Fortuna.
My mom says keep it in the package.
She would say that Christian. But I don't know. It's I just like them more for some reason. I know they have a higher premium. It's just that I like them. To me, they're more beautiful. The actual image on the little bar.
Regularly says, in this case, I consider it more of an investment than a display item. Keep both of them in the package.
Right. It's not really an investment. It's more of like a savings.
Yeah, you said it's like gold, right? So it's the gold that's in the package that's worth the money. not anything around it.
Yeah, like who knows? Like in a couple of years, who knows? I mean, the company could go out of business. The app could no longer work. None of it matters. What matters is what's inside, and that never loses value. You know.
Yeah. Metal says, eat both the gold and the package to absorb their powers.
That's a good idea.
And Sketchbook did say earlier on the other topic, it says, I was commenting on what Rick said. Dillard, what was your question? And his question was just basically, well, you say it the way you want to say it. I'll probably...
The question is, when making a Christian comic book or comic strip or anything Christian, when making something that is that, what is the best way to go about it? That's the topic of discussion that I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
The reason that I don't know which way to go is I'm not sure whether or not something like a comic book, can bring someone to Christ, or whether it's just supplemental material, which is fine. They have prayer books and devotionals, and they have apologetics. There's a bunch of stuff that you can make that's for Christians. Doesn't mean it's going to bring somebody to Christ.
Metal says horror. There are no horror comics quite like Christian horror comics. Hey, Sketchbook.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you're asking...
What are you, at work?
No, I'm not at work. I'm at home.
Driving?
Nah, I got a crappy mic.
Oh.
Mic, man.
Yeah, the question was...
No, I heard what you said.
Okay, go ahead.
This is going to sound kind of cheesy, but it's biblical. Everything that you're going to do for the Lord has to start with prayer and being led.
Hold on, say that whole thing again. You just started really popping.
Sorry. Everything that you're going to do, anything, whether it be a comic book, a sermon, if you're going to go talk to somebody, everything has to be led by the Spirit, which means you have to be praying for it. So to do something like this, that's why I was saying that your heart has to be in the right place. It has to be, for it to be completely used by Him.
I'm going to lower the volume a little bit. Go ahead.
You have to actually be led by Him. Now, I think another question I heard was, can God use a comic? God can use anything. God can commit evil because He can control it. We can't. He can use anything to serve His people. That's why in the scripture it says that what people meant for evil, He can turn for good.
Rick, I think he's breakdancing with his microphone.
Yeah.
Right? That's weird because I didn't sound this bad when the snow was...
Oh my God, it's so loud.
Is it loud? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is that better?
It's really crackly. I think that's the worst part.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I had the volume up too high.
Oh, we still got a bit crackly. It seems like it's moving or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's right in front of my face. It's a headphone mic.
Oh.
I try using the podcast mic, but I've never...
Oh, God. Yeah, try something else.
Hold on. Give me a minute.
Oh, man. Everybody in the chat is having a really hard time. The volume got lowered, but the crackling was just as loud. Man, you lost like 9 viewers right there.
My bad. Is that better?
Oh,
Yeah,
that sounds beautiful.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
that's a podcast, Mike.
It's all your fault, Dad.
My son's behind me. Shut up.
Yeah, we heard. He said it's all your fault. We heard him.
Because I'm a bit of a cheap person. But yeah, it all has to be done. If it's an actual Christian or a follower, they have to be led by the Spirit. If it's like someone like myself or Rick, has to be led by it. Now, can you do something with a comic and it leads and God uses it? Not it leads, because the one doing the leading is always going to be God. Jesus said that when he said that he's the one that plants the seed. That's how all of that works. Yes, God can use anything, but for us or for anybody that wants to do something, the best way to go about it is actually to just pass the message of the scriptures, not to actually add to or take from the scriptures, like the Action Bible. The Action Bible actually adds to the scriptures, and that's something that he doesn't want. That's what I meant on that comment, Rick, when I said that we can't sin to serve the Lord. And to add is sin. In the book of Revelation, it tells us that you can't add to this book, or you're going to be added the plagues that are in the book. Yeah. You can't take away from it, or you're going to have your name stricken from the book of life.
Yeah.
So there's rules that we have to adhere to,
but at that point,
non-believers.
But my question for that would be: is that just for that book, or is it for the whole?
No, it's for all the scriptures.
Yeah. Because
remember, the original punishment for those who prophesy falsely was death.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's for all scripture. God is very vehemently about never using something like, oh, God said this, but he never said that. And I mean, even normal fathers, earthly fathers, don't like that. Don't like for their kids to say to another kid, hey, my dad told me this. And then you find out, you're like, hey, I never said that to you. And that's exactly the way God teaches us. Hey, don't ever say that I said something when it wasn't me who said it. Yeah. And that's basically like, you can do a comic. I've been wanting to do a comic of the Bible. But it has to be verse for verse. And there's plenty of stuff in there that people would find exciting. You know, like just the fact that they mentioned dinosaurs and man roaming the earth together. I know John would be interested in that. He's always talking about that Dino Riders.
Yeah, Dino Riders is great.
Although the scripture that we have doesn't mention the word dinosaur, and that's because the word dinosaur was invented after, we'll say, the King James Bible was
because written. It's basically dinosaur is the word thunder lizards. Yeah.
Although, you go to Job, and Job, talks about a Leviathan and a behemoth, and which very much sounds like dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah, the description is almost like spot on for the Brontosaurus. But yeah, that's like the best way I could answer that question. Why, John, are you interested in doing something like that?
Yeah, I've always been interested in doing something like that. Matter of fact, my first comic, my wife had talked about it earlier on Rick's show. It was a zombie book, but it was very much a Christian message comic book. But I couldn't. That's the thing. I'm like, I want to do one. I just don't know which avenue to take. And again, it's a heavy topic. It's not something to be taken lightly.
Yeah, that's why I like it when there's a mix, like a myriad of characters, and among them you'll find a faith-filled one. I believe in the X-Men, Wolverine was a Christian, if I remember correctly. He was Catholic, but he was a Christian.
No, that was more Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler was a devout Catholic.
Yeah.
Wolverine was a sinning Catholic.
Yeah.
But he was a Catholic, and that's why he was very good friends with Nightcrawler.
Yeah. I just remember the one episode of the animated series with Nightcrawler and him talking and all that. And then at the end, Wolverine's
brain, yeah. Yeah, and that's what I like. And that's what I was telling you that one time, remember, Rick? that I said it's better for you to put Christian characters or faith-filled characters because you can write the interaction. Like art imitates life.
Yeah.
So you can write the interaction between characters that are not faith-filled and characters that are faith-filled.
Oh yeah, in my comics, there's supporting cast. There's going to be some supporting casts that are not necessarily faith-filled.
Yeah. But no, I mean, that's basically how you would start. You would just get the basic. I would say read the Gospels, John, and like with all their because the verses that are mentioned in the Gospels, Jesus is almost always referencing the Old Testament. That's why his one of his titles is the Word or the Living Torah. So he's going to reference the Old Testament a lot because he literally fulfills the Old Testament or the first covenant, which is why I would say read all four Gospels, study them a little bit, and you'll get the gist of the message, because that's what the apostles were supposed to preach anyway. To make disciples was just the message of Jesus. And that right there will help you. It'll lead you to what you want to create. In other words, the gist of the message. And it's almost always human interaction, just like in the scriptures. In the scriptures, it's always God interacting with humanity. It's basically God's story with humanity is the scriptures. And I mean, if you're going to do anything with God, there's rules for it. But I would just say do humanity, period, with the message of the gospel. I don't know if I overcomplicated that for you. I could hear crickets chirping.
I'm just watching this fly kind of just bother Rick, right? No, here's the thing. Let's say your mom wants to include Acts into the required reading. Let's say, just for the sake of conversation, that I've already read the Gospels many a time. And
excuse you. Again.
Don't bother me when you got that fly bothering me. But let's just say, for the sake of conversation, that I've read the Gospels.
Yeah, it was.
And I know the story that I want to tell.
This mic, that's cool.
Congratulations.
Sorry, my son's a smart behind.
And let's say I know the story that I want to tell. But do I take it from the perspective of it's a teaching book, or is it an entertaining book?
Why can't it be both?
Then there's two flies now, Rick.
Yeah, I know.
Rick, how old is it up there that those things are still alive? You guys got like super flies up there?
Yeah. Well, inside the house, the apartment, it's not nice and toasty and warm. Heck, I am not that I'm going to show anybody, but I don't have a shirt on, so now outside I'd be freezing my my nipples off.
That's a visual I'm never going to be able to get out of my head.
Well, you're welcome.
Timothy Olsen says, 2 flies don't bother me.
Let's see. Timothy says, a perfect example of a movie or book or anything that would be the Book of Eli. Would you consider that a Christian movie in any way? I'm not sure whether I've seen of it. So
I've never seen it. I've only heard it. But there's a lot of films like that, and a lot of them have Catholic dogma in it, and that's the part that entertains you. Yeah. But the message is supposed to be very positive.
Hold on, I'm getting a phone call from my mother. Give me a
salacious, second. Rick. I'm not sure what you mean by salacious. But you need to see it. It says. Well, thanks for coming on
I don't mind. Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah. Well, anytime you see it and you're able to come on, or you want to come on, you know.
Yeah. I could probably come on at least for 40 minutes at night, and just not during the day because I'm back at work already,
Yeah.
and I'm supposed to be learning Sketchbook Pro, but I also have to start studying for my ASC certifications. So it's gonna be very busy for me.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is you can come on here and practice with it and talk, or possibly.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do right now, and I'm using my tablet instead of my computer.
Yeah.
But you know what? I should use it on the computer because I got to get used to it. You shush you. My son's a huge fan. That's why you'll hear him in the background. He likes to listen to you guys while I'm watching.
Well, thank you for being a huge fan.
Can I have your autograph?
Shut up.
Well, buy the comic and you can't. Well, actually,
That means I would have to buy 2 comics because I'm the one that buys his stuff for him. So, you trying to get more money out of me, Rick?
Sure, why not? And plus, I didn't know whether he was old enough to, buy stuff on his own or give you the money for it, and you.
No, he is old enough. I don't give him an allowance.
You're supposed to.
No, that's not mandatory.
Usually I don't
I didn't receive an allowance all the time. I usually had to ask for money.
Hopefully, in the next few days, I will be backing Melvin, Timothy. I just got to make sure I have the $5 or $6 to do digitally.
I think I only back the digital. When does the thing end?
7 days.
Okay, I gotta go in there and back the physical. I just don't know what cover I'm gonna get.
Get the Dillard cover.
It's nice, but there's another one where he looks kind of like Rambo. I really like that one.
Rambo, Force of Freedom.
I never saw that cartoon. I didn't know it existed until I was older.
How much is the digital anyways? Let me see.
It's $5.
American? So that's probably like
$5 American.
So that's probably $6.
Why are you not listening to me?
I am, I think.
No, I'm talking to Sketchbook Pro here. It's not listening to me. It wants to do its own thing. I don't like it when it wants to do its own thing. Oh, doggone it. It didn't do its own thing. It already has it over here. Get back over here. It literally created duplicates. For a smart program, you're not very smart.
Yeah, $6.
I gotta get used to all the brushes, so.
$6 Canadian. Yeah, I think I should be able to swing that.
Yeah, we just haven't been making a lot of money at work because of work slow, and then with being shut down for a whole week, that doesn't help. That helps us not.
Yeah.
A bit. There we go. Okay. So.
Just add already, please.
My paycheck is looking small next week, says.
Who's that?
Oh, Timothy.
I'm sorry to hear that. Hey, is Timothy in y'all's neck of the woods? Is he in Canada?
No, Timothy's down where in your area.
I was noticing that one night that we were all talking about Whataburger and making each other hungry, that there's a lot of people in my area.
Yeah. By your area, I mean Texas. I don't know where in Texas.
Yeah, no, I know. Beto knows where I'm at because we were talking that night, and I hinted at it.
Yeah, I heard you too.
I really think that we really should like hang out one of these days. I know Dillard wanted us to go over to his place, which wouldn't be a bad idea either. But I want to go to medieval times over there in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Timothy says he is in Central Texas.
Oh, he's not that far from me then. Not that far at all. I'm in South Texas. I'm at like right at the top of South Texas. So.
You're able to just dox yourself.
Shut up. Stop doxing yourself, Paul.
Yeah, well, the good thing is most people don't know your real name.
Well, you do because you friended me on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, I figured it out between a couple things let me figure it out. I did not on my first campaign. I would not have known, but in the last couple months somehow I figured it out. And it's like okay. I know.
Oh, no. No, it's too late for that. They got after me for using the bad mic and being too loud.
It was just because of all the crackling on the other mic.
It happens though. Like
Yeah.
it was fine that day, last Thursday. I didn't hear you guys complain one bit.
No.
But today,
it just
we're the
did.
same brand too.
Yeah. It seems like 90% of people in the sphere of the internet live in Texas or California.
I've noticed a lot of people live in Texas that are from like our group. That's why like a lot of the other groups that art groups that I've like talked to, a lot of them are from Canada or California. Most of them are from Canada or from the Northwest, from Washington State. Sorry, I burped.
Oh, no problem.
Dunk on it. You ever try to erase something and it's your screen? Got like a piece of gunk on it or something?
Yeah. So, not sure why Rick thinks staying in Canada is a good idea.
I'm telling you, Rick, you need to move down to Texas.
Yeah. I'll stay here. I'll stay here for now. Worst case scenario, I'll move west into Western Canada.
Cost of living isn't super high, so you can make a living off of your comic books. The weather's usually nice. Don't take last week was the exception, not the rule. Well, Central Texas weather is usually nice. South Texas weather is really humid.
Oh, my mom's wondering, is the weather back to normal for down there yet?
Well, yeah, Texas it's the crazy weather state sometimes. Like we were in the lower double digits, and today we were almost like at 75. So we were trying to hit 80. We wanted to do a record.
Timothy says he was born and raised in Washington State.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's a beautiful state. From the people that I know that live there, it's a beautiful state. And most of the people that are outside of the cities, they're they're not as crazy as the ones in the cities.
Hmm.
I don't know. Class. No. Nope. On YouTube.
Sad. Let's see. Flit said sad. Hey, Eagle's here. Hey, Eagle, how are you? So does does your son ever actually comment in the chat, or does he just?
No. He usually watches the streams afterwards.
Oh, okay.
He became a fan after the very first time that I got on Dillard's stream.
Oh, okay.
when he finished the campaign for the Buckler.
Oh, okay.
And he stayed up watching. I don't know if you were on there.
Yeah, I was on there till close to the end or the end.
That's what he called his mom.
Yeah, he was the one telling me that Dillard called his mom all tipsy.
Congratulations, you home. I decided to go in Liverpool. I decided to go to Liverpool. Look at the chair.
It's nothing. It's just boxes I'm practicing. Loosen myself up. Loosen my hands up.
All right, I'm back. What's up?
Not much.
My mom was having trouble getting into one of her Zoom meetings, and I had to talk her off of a ledge.
What's your mom doing on Zoom?
That's where she goes to her AA meetings. She's in recovery. She's an awful person when she got some drink in her, I'll tell you that.
Well, now we know where Dillard gets it from.
What are you talking about? Dillard's a delight.
I mean, once you've been drinking.
No, he's actually nicer when he's drinking.
Yeah,
without the alcohol.
I was just trying to tease him.
Maybe I should tell Dillard to drink something.
Rick, I'm a very pleasant person to be around.
I was just teasing you a little.
A joy. I've been called a joy. All right, so what are you guys talking about?
A little bit of this, a little bit of
Nothing
that.
in particular.
How Sketchbook's son became a fan of, I guess, both of our shows? Or just mine?
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding what you're saying. What?
Sketchbook. We were just talking about how Sketchbook.
I would say both, but
go ahead.
I would say he's a fan of both of you guys, but he does lean more over to Dillard because he has a bit of a dark sense of humor like I used to growing up. So he likes to hear Dillard.
That's all right, I guess.
Is it because I'm darker than Rick?
Your humor.
Oh.
Don't make this about race.
I thought you were saying your son was a racist.
But you constantly call me a racist because I make all them jokes.
Racist jokes? Yeah.
They're not racist. When did people start forgetting the word prejudice or stereotype?
They're racial. They're not racist. They're racial. Timothy Olsen says, "In your face, Rick." I agree.
Why is it always open season, Rick?
I didn't say it. Timothy Olsen did.
I'm asking. It's actually a question. Even I take shots at Rick. Especially when he shows stuff on other people's streams.
Rick has dark humor? No. Dillard does.
Oh, I do not have dark humor. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Don't lie.
You know they can hear you.
Because it's funny, says Timothy. That's why they take shots. You missed everything. Rebellious.
You didn't miss much, Rebellious. We're still talking about the same thing.
Rebellious left?
Yeah, you didn't see when she's like, I'm out of here.
No, I didn't read
This show's for the birds. I'm out of here. You can't stay away for long, though. You always got to come back.
Yeah.
Rebellious likes John's streams.
I don't even stream that much. All right, so did we ever decide on what the best avenue to take is? Should we do a story like the Book of Eli, where it's you guys were saying you didn't even see the Book of Eli, right?
Yeah.
Nope, never seen it.
Okay, so the Book of Eli it does that Sixth Sense type of thing, right? Where they're ashamed to say outright that it's a Christian or a godly story, and then at the end they drop the bomb on you, which I don't like. I don't like that. I think it's a cop out. It's cheap. It's like when they make those movies and then you get really invested in the character, and at the very end they're like, "Oh, did you know this character is homosexual?" And you're
So
like,
basically every SJW book?
Yeah. Pope Raven wants to know where his wrench is at, Rick.
Well, I guess I could give it back to...
I think Rick's microphone is dead.
No, my microphone is not dead.
When he gets his microphone up and running again, I don't know. Maybe I'll ask him where your wrench is at.
Hardy har, John. In here.
So like I was saying, in the Book of Eli, the guy's like a blind guy, right? He's like, he can't see, and he's walking around like this wasteland, and he's a super martial artist, kicking all kinds of butt and all that. And then you end up finding out that he was on a mission to deliver the last Bible in existence to a scribe, a modern-day scribe, to mass produce. And that's the reason that he was able to maneuver and do all those things, is because God was with him, and it was essentially guiding him, even though he was blind. And he dies right at the very end, as he completes his mission.
Spoiler alert.
That's the Book of Eli. I'm sorry. Spoiler alert. The Book of Eli from 2003. But that's essentially the story. So you got to get invested in this whole other rigmarole, right? In order for this thing to have like a big reveal at the end, you have to get invested in a whole nother story, which ends up not even meaning anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is why I don't want to go that route, where it's like, oh, did you know the whole time that this guy was Christian? That's why yada yada yada. I kind of don't want to do that.
Yeah, that is a cop out.
Yeah. It's good, but it's not good at the same time.
Joshua Hughes says, we're blue, daba dee, daba
That would die. I didn't even read that, and I knew how that one ends.
Timothy's suggesting that you should still watch the movie Book of Eli.
Yeah, I might.
Now, what's a movie that you would consider to be Christian through and through?
Well, there's quite a few of them nowadays.
Like a Cecil B. DeMille's Ten Commandments. Charlton Heston kind of deal.
Well, that's a biblical movie, or that's a how could I say it? A dramatization of a biblical narrative, like the Action Bible. So,
and in your opinion, that stuff's no good.
Well, no. You can't use that to replace it. If you're doing it for entertainment purposes, that's fine. I'm saying that you can't use it. Then I'd be a hypocrite because I like Cecil B. DeMille's 10 Commandments, even though Moses had a Rolex.
No, wasn't that Ben Hur? No, that was Ben Hur.
Was it Ben Hur?
Yeah, that was
Judah Ben Hur.
Yeah, that movie was okay. And I've seen
that movie was terrible. It was boring.
Thank you. You know
that movie made me switch to Buddhism.
Yeah, and we are talking about the original Ben Hur, right? Well,
both of them are boring. The new one and the old one.
I shouldn't say the original because there was like an original 15-minute one in black and white, silent film, I think too.
Okay, that's a good example. Actually, the Ben Hur movie. You remember how I said you cannot add or take away? That one literally adds. It's literally adding a narrative to the time that Jesus existed. Now, in the scripture, it does say that there was a lot of stuff that he did that they wrote down that got destroyed.
Well,
I know this guy who made a story, and he turned the Lord into an eagle, and he's talking to some Canadian. Now that's adding to the story of God. Is that against the rules?
Well, for us it is. Not for you because you're not a follower.
But he's talking about me because I get God talking through an eagle.
Oh, I've told Rick that. I've told you before, Rick.
Also, I am a believer. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay, my bad. You're not a follower.
This guy's out of control, Rick.
But, like I said, mine is half entertainment, half supposed to be witnessing, so. And is there a possibility God could talk to somebody through an eagle? Yeah. He talked to somebody through a donkey. Why not an eagle?
Technically, he didn't talk through the donkey. The donkey could talk. He just released his mouth.
Yeah. But, the message, was released.
Which is cool because, every time I think about the kingdom, that just makes me laugh. Like, we're going to hear animals speak. That makes me laugh all the time.
I don't want to hear animals speak. You know how dumb animals must be?
You know how dumb they must think we are?
Just going around eating their own turds off the grass.
That I do agree with.
And then they're going to talk to me? And they don't even brush their teeth?
Yeah, well, I think they got a little dumber off when they came off the ark. I think.
Why do you do that?
Well, it was at that point that God said that they could be, used as meat for humans. Before then, most likely, people were vegetarians, if you will.
Somebody crack open a soda?
Mm-hmm. What are you, jealous?
And it's also possible too, from the garden too, that they became a little bit dumber, for lack of a better way of saying it. I can't say 100% for sure.
Now, speaking of the garden, I saw an animation that was done about the garden, and I can't find it for the life of me anymore. It was on YouTube years ago. Whoever animated it, they did that thing almost to a T, the way the serpent is actually described. How it actually has the legs and everything before it gets the punishment.
Yeah.
That was just crazy. Nobody usually does that. You almost always see a serpent wrapped around a tree or something like that.
Yeah. No, that's not Spider-Man. That's Super Spider.
What?
Joshua.
Are you stealing Marvel characters?
No.
Don't tell Rick that. He's gonna claim that he came up with the idea first.
No, Spider-Man was created long before.
I ran into this old guy that looked like Stan Lee. We're on a trip to New York, and we were talking about superheroes, and I told him about this hero that had the ability to crawl like a spider, and then Spider-Man came out. That's gonna be Rick's story.
No. I have her story. Yeah. Well, it looks too much like Spider-Man, and these are come off. They're not flat on. They come up, the bulge, sort of bulged out. I'm not sure how to put it. Yes, Super Spider, I know. Corny name.
So, is this a project you want to work on, John, after the Buckler, or
in tandem?
In tandem?
Yeah, I've been spitballing a few ideas about what I want to do, because I'm never going to stop working on the Buckler. I got too many stories that I want to do. But stuff that's going to be going on in the while. Arachno dude, that's an even worse name, Timothy.
Arachno dude. Okay, whose idea was that?
Timothy Olsen's. So.
I burnt my mouth on tea. Ooh, sorry to hear that. Rebellious.
Yeah, that's what Joshua was talking about. Oh no, Flit said you burned your tongue because you tell too many lies.
Who tells too many lies?
Rebellious Pastry.
Oh, I thought you guys were listening in to one of my conversations. It's like, I don't know who's been telling you that I tell lies, because certainly it wasn't my therapist.
Yeah, but you're a liar, so I can't trust you what you say. Timothy Olsen says the above average spider guy.
She is taking her name from a set of comics that I actually have within my universe called Merge Comics, and I have a character called Super Spider. That's where she takes her name from, and that is a combination of Superman and Spider-Man in that Merge comic.
And you're gonna actually do a web comic, and you're gonna call it your own creation when you merge two comic books together.
Well, she's not that character merged. She looks completely different. She just took their name.
Anyway, so would you rather, and I'm not saying you personally, but I'm saying if you as the populace, would you rather see if there was some sort of a Christian something coming out, a book, a webtoon or something, in as close to as possible faithful comic book style rendition of the biblical stories as they are, or some sort of fantastical tale?
Personally, I would rather have the Bible as it is.
Oh,
but that's something I'm going to
work on. Before I finish the question, not you personally, but as the
Oh, my bad.
But do you think, as somebody, let's say me and you, right? Me, you, and Rick, we're Team Jesus, right? We're Team God, and we want to get more people on our team, and we want to think about it and say, how can we get more people liking our cool stuff? Would it be we do a rendition, another telling of the Bible story? Or do we make up a story and insert characters that are religious, faithful in there? Rick, remember how your mom was Team Edward and you were Team Jacob? Pretend that we're Team Jesus for a second.
Hello, Elric. I'm trying to think, and it's hard to answer without putting my own bias in there all that. For me, I've seen, I don't know how many people have done the Bible stories, and even some have done it pretty exact word for word, I would say. There's always some, especially when you're doing it in real life, or not in real life, but there's some artistic interpretation, because you gotta draw, you gotta make visuals. But because so many people have done either film or whatever, I would say more, a story as maybe an allegory or something like that.
Something like Pilgrim's Progress.
Yeah. Or Chronicles of Narnia.
What the what?
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of it. I liked them at the beginning, but I wasn't a huge fan of them towards the end.
Did you
But then again, I've only seen the Disney one, so
yeah,
I've never read the books, and a lot of people say the books are a lot better.
Oh yeah, they are.
Let's see. Elric says, Dillard, what's going on? Catch me up. What's going on? And why did Cross like Twilight? I'm kind of concerned about his manhood now. I mean, I've always been concerned. I'm not worried. It's a little bit of concern. But yeah, he was Team Edward. He likes the sparkly vampire. Now, in order to catch you up, we're gonna do we're trying to figure out what's the best avenue to take when making a comic book or illustrations or a book of some sort. Oh, yeah, okay, let me hold that thought. We're trying to figure out the best way to make a story, present a story that would be a good Christian story. What's a good way, and is it possible even to lead somebody to Christ through a story that's not the actual Bible or verses from the Bible? That's kind of what we're talking about. The super spider probably has a venom-like bad guy called Toxin. Maybe Toxico. But I just realized something. I've been wanting to do a story for a long time. I told you about this story already, Rick. It's called the Fairmount Fables.
Okay.
It's a children's book. And I wanted this children's book to have 7 stories showcasing, in their own way, the 7 virtues. Maybe that's the route I should take.
Yeah, could be.
What are the 7 virtues?
The opposites of the 7 sins.
Oh.
Or the 7 deadly sins.
I mean, I've heard of the 7 deadly sins, but I've never heard of the 7 virtues.
Yeah, let me go get a list of them online real quick so I can read them off to you.
Okay, let's see. Timothy says, why would characters have to be a superhero story? Why can't you do a Christian story with normal people? Doesn't have to. There's lots of stuff like that around, Christian authors. A good one I like as of recently is Ted Decker. Or Frank Peretti.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Neither do I.
They're pretty good Christian authors, at least as far as I'm concerned.
All right, so here are the opposites of the sins, right? I guess the first one is lust, and virtue is chastity.
Okay, didn't hear that at first. Yeah, love or whatever.
No, I didn't say love. I said lust.
Okay.
Lust. That's the sin, and the opposite, the virtue, is purity, abstinence, chastity.
Okay.
The second one is gluttony, and the opposite of that would be temperance, equanimity, humanity. Sin, greed. Of course, the opposite of greed would be generosity, charity, sacrifice. Sloth. The opposite of sloth, of course, is diligence, persistence. Another sin, wrath. Of course, the opposite of wrath is patience, forgiveness, and mercy. Envy is another sin, Rick, and the opposite of envy would be satisfaction, kindness, compassion. The last one is pride. Rick, what's the opposite of pride?
Humbleness?
Humility. That's correct.
I do have to disagree with it on one thing. I know people have said wrath is a deadly sin, but
you heard Rick is going to argue about the Bible. He's going to say how he's smarter than God.
Well, I think somebody else has replaced the wrath because God has wrath, and God can't sin, so.
Yeah, these things the Lord abhors. He hates them, Rick.
Those things are based on man's behavior, not God's.
Yeah.
Again, God can control even evil, and His wrath is just because it's based on His just.
Yeah, it's just
it's not the same thing.
Maybe it's just the word.
Defend those things. I don't care for the 7 deadly sins. There is something in the scriptures, John, that it's not the 7 virtues, but it is the fruits of the Spirit.
No, those are completely different. What are you talking about? Those are completely different verses. Where he's talking about these things that the Lord hates, 7 things the Lord cannot take, and the whole the fruits of the Spirit. That's something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nowhere in the Bible does it say there's 7 righteous virtues or whatever
or 7 deadly sins either.
Yeah.
Well, no, and nowhere in the Bible is it called the Bible. If I got to change how I speak, Rick. It's called English, Rick.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk to you in Aramaic.
Hey, I'm not the only one disagreeing with you here, you know.
I think we broke him.
Now I'm watching Actually with Rick and Sketchbook. Man, I gotta remember my humility, my patience.
They say write what you know, John. I don't think you should write this.
Elric, yes, righteous anger is a thing.
Some Gentile probably said that.
But, God says He will pour out His wrath in, Revelation, whatever. And I think
so. I guess logically we can then surmise that wrath is some sort of a liquid. Yeah. Actually. It's called English. We know what they're talking about, Rick. We know what he's trying to say.
Everybody says we're all nuts. No, I'm just trying to go by what, something, just thinking what the Bible says, or Scripture says about the fact that, God's got wrath, and how can wrath be a sin?
Rick, you're the reason that God's people are divided.
Can we as humans sin while doing wrath? Yeah, we can sin while getting angry. God got angry. We're told to get angry and sin not. Flint says, so Dillard wants to make a comic about Catholic I could get my tongue to work.
It's Flit Amarant, is how it's pronounced.
Yeah, but he said, so Dillard wants to make a comic about Catholic philosophy.
Basically. I can't find where you're at. There we go. Finally got you on.
Or it says righteous anger, not blind anger.
What is up with these people putting things on OfferUp and taking one picture? It's a 20-foot trailer, and you give me one picture.
Oh, yeah, those are bad. Or they, like, I was trying to get a computer off a guy on OfferUp, and I told him, hey, what's in the computer? You know, what? Oh, I took a picture of the sticker that tells you all that. I go, yeah, the picture's very blurry. That's why I bothered to ask you. I told him, but that's all right. You just lost the sale anyway.
Rebellion says, Pastry the Webcom. Would anybody read it? Maybe.
What is it about?
Alec also said, wrath usually pertains to using anger without control. Not sure.
Yeah, with ours it is.
Here, let me look it up. Get a definition. Rick just tried speaking in tongues, said Flint. Who is the new Brandon? There's no new Brandon, but we have Sketchbook on us with here.
Why does he keep saying I'm the new Brandon?
Everybody's everybody's the new Brandon to them that they don't know.
Hey John, how are the kids, man?
I don't know. I'm out here talking to Rick.
According to the Merriam-Webster,
last time I checked, they were alive.
Yeah, according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary online, wrath is a strong, vengeful anger or indignation. Yeah, that's one, and then two is a retributionary punishment for an offense or crime, divine chastisement. So based on those, I wouldn't say it's supposed to be out of control necessarily.
I got a question for you guys who love comic books. Do you guys like when the art looks all sketchy?
No.
Not really, nah.
So you like clean line art?
Yes.
How clean though?
Here, I'm going to show you a picture of an artist.
I'm not.
It's about as messy as I can take it, but I still like it.
Oh my gosh, that's almost a direct copy of Spider-Man. I hadn't seen that. Rick, you're gonna get accused of plagiarism.
It only looks like there. It's not. Trust me.
It looks like the latest version of Spider-Man that they did. You know, with the cowl art style.
No. Here, I'm probably gonna have to show that. Here, showing what Dillard. Do you want to show?
I'm not there yet, Rick. I gotta go find the image.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, then let me bring up something in here. I should be able to bring up fairly easy.
Is it showing my screen?
No. Well, I don't know. I'm not looking. Okay, yeah, it is.
That's what I was working on right now, playing around with the pencils.
Okay, let's... Browsers.
Oh, John, I liked your two
There's
scale,
a...
very like detailed. What's his name? Nicolas Cage that you did on
My
drawing
photo realistic.
realistic.
Well,
That was hilarious.
Did you see it on Twitter or did you watch the episode?
No, I watched the episode. I was in there messing with Chester. That's probably the only time you get some reprieve from me is because I mess with Chester anytime that I'm on there. With Chester and Booster.
I love Chester.
Oh yeah, they're great guys.
Okay, so everybody...
Okay, now this right here, this is a guy. His name is Riccardo Frederici. He's an artist, and he this is from the book Batman the Murder Machine during the Metal series.
I never read any of that. Is it good?
No, I didn't like it. I stopped buying it after about the 6th book.
I want to buy that Ronin stuff that everybody keeps talking about with the Ninja Turtles. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Squirtles.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, so let me show you here. This is the... He does his finished work in pencils, and then they color over it.
I like that style.
Yeah, this is about as sloppy. And it's not sloppy. It's very tight pencils, but this is about as unclean of a line work that I can handle. Before I'm like, okay, I can't do it no more. But this, I like this still. This is still,
you know what I love about this? He hand drew the windows or the
borders.
The
gutters.
The
Well, they're
panels.
called gutters, but these are just these panels are just
panels. There you go. The panels. He hand drew the edges of the panels. I like it when they do stuff like that. I also like it when panels overlay other panels from time to time. But some people overuse it. The 90s was just riddled with that.
Yeah, that McFarlane. What a joker that guy was.
Cross-hatching is crazy awesome. Who is this again?
Hello, Arlene.
Riccardo Frederici.
Gosh, his cross-hatching is just amazeballs, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's very, very good.
I love him and hate him all at the same time. Dude, I've always found it that it's crazy when people could make metallic stuff stand out with just pencils.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up back in the day, there was very few artists that could pull that off. They almost always had to go to inks for it to look metallic.
Well, not me. I grew up in the future.
So you're your own grandpa?
Mm-hmm.
But
All right, I'm gonna stop sharing because Rick's chomping at the bit to show something. I don't know what it is.
well, I'm just showing Super Spider's full costume.
I don't know how I feel about this. Kind of gross, actually.
I say you redraw her, Dillard.
I don't think I want to. I would just get sued.
Draw her like one of your French girls.
I don't like drawing girl superheroes.
Oh, it's a she, says Timothy.
What's that coming out from behind, Rick?
She has like spider-type arms coming out from her back.
There. It looks like she has two tails, man.
Yeah.
And that color makes it look like she's what's that mythical creature that plays the flute or the pan flute? Pan. There you go. Yeah, her torso looks like it's fur. I mean, I get the gist of it. The gold suit with the white doesn't look half bad.
Well, it's more grayish.
Wait, what? Are you colorblind?
No.
Me?
Yeah, Sketchbook.
Yes, I am colorblind.
That's a gray suit.
Thanks for bringing out my shortcomings.
Yeah, that's, I was gonna say it, but didn't beat me to the punch.
My son's upset with you because you beat him to the punch. He was going to tell me it's gray.
No, she's not half furry. Joshua.
I knew that this guy sounded like E. Ortiz for a reason. You know, E. Ortiz is also colorblind.
I am not E. Ortiz.
I mean, you say that.
I can tell he's not ERTs. They sound enough different.
Timothy says Dillard is good at that. What am I good at?
At bringing out people's shortcomings.
At beating people to the punch?
Okay, so
my kid's only a teenager. He doesn't have the timing down yet.
You don't got the quick wit of Dillard. You got to get up early in the morning to get one over on Dillard.
Are you trying to say all Mexicans have to get up early?
Yeah. It's one of the 7 virtues.
It's one of the prerequisites of being a Mexican.
It's called diligence, persistence, effortfulness, ethics. It's the opposite of sloth. These are things everybody should aspire to. So if I do the book, I wanted to do the book and do 7 stories promoting, pushing my agenda. Which is, these virtues. Oh my God! Who said that?
My autistic son.
Oh my God, Rick!
what?
This is a Christian channel.
I didn't even hear what he said.
Oh, okay.
That's a good thing.
Probably for the best. He was saying funky butt loving.
The funniest thing is that earlier he came and whispered in my ear, "Don't cuss on the mic," but he does it in the background and forget.
Terrible. Terrible.
Eric says he has a friend who is colorblind. And as I said, when she gets her power, she thinks of the comic book character in her universe called Super Spider. And that's why she dubs herself Super Spider.
I mean, I would just draw a different picture and add a different character in there instead. That's way too... That looks way too much like Spider-Man.
Yeah, but that's just the face.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if I had a character that looked just like Wolverine, but on only his head, I would still have to change it.
Oh, no. They've got so many characters out there that are similar, DC and Marvel. And they look very much alike. Like Hyperion and Superman, Gladiator, except for, skin color and the mohawk, Gladiator, Sentry, those guys. You just look at them and know their powers, and
I'm just saying. In the off chance, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but on the off chance that this thing actually is popular, you're going to run into trouble. I mean, I doubt it will become popular, so you're probably not going to have a problem. I have no faith that it will, especially because you're unwilling to change even the simplest thing, like how she looks.
It's just the face part. The whole rest of the body looks nothing like Spider-Man. Or any Spider-Man costume I've seen. And Spider-Man, his would be like flat like that. Hers are like almost like Insecto's eyes. How streams work across. what to talk about. Keep pushing Dillard. I want to see his wrath, says Pope Raven. Super Spider battle cry is I'm not Spider. Why would she have to do that battle cry? She wouldn't even know who Spider-Man is. Arlene says, I doubt it'll get popular. Harsh.
Well, that's the point.
Yeah.
If you can't see that this design is too close to Spider-Man, I doubt it's going to get popular. Now, if you're going to draw a picture of Spider-Man to show me that it doesn't look like Spider, I know what Spider-Man looks like, right? It's a very popular character.
Yeah. You know, I cut it off like there. Spider-Man's goes down here, then the boots and the gloves are all that webbing. I think you...
You are going to draw a picture of Spider-Man?
I started it before you said something.
Oh, damn it.
But my point is, just because the head is there, the rest of the body's different, powers and all that work different, everything. Or I'm pretty sure they do. It's been a while since I've read her bio. Somebody...
See, and then you tell me something like that, which means I know you're not taking it seriously.
Taking what seriously?
Anything. It's been a while since I read her bio.
I did a quick little drawing, not anything really good. I was streaming for talk. What to talk about? Dillard likes to talk. Mallet, let's babysit Rick. Marsupial, let's play games. Rebellious pastry. What the hell does this work? How the hell does this work?
Okay, so if I do a character like this, but instead of Wolverine's eyes, I keep the same mask.
Now let me see.
And then I do the eyes circular instead. This is not too close to Wolverine?
Yeah, but what's the rest of the costume look like?
Who cares? It's obviously Wolverine's face!
Yeah, but there's more to the costume than just the face.
I agree, Rick. But this is enough to make it a no-go.
Not in comics.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you got to remember those comics were ridiculed, Rick. Those comics that where they copied other ones, like even copying themselves, like Rob Liefeld, constantly drawing Cable. It's like, this is my new character. Yeah, it's Cable all over again. I know you're trying to change it up, and you may be inspired by it, but that's the only thing John's trying to say in his own way.
If I hadn't just did the headshot here, we probably wouldn't be having the conversation.
I guarantee you we would.
Because I've drawn this character on this stream several times before, and nobody's ever said...
We've had this conversation before as well.
No, we haven't.
Yes, we have.
No, we haven't. Because I would actually remember a conversation like this. Hey, Mrs. Dillard.
Aw, what does she want?
You're in trouble, Dillard. You're picking on him. on Rick. She's Rick's #1 fan.
No, she isn't.
Let's see. Cross, I got an idea. How about you change her from spider to mantis shrimp? Because it doesn't work with what I've done. She calls herself Super Spider based on another character, and she's altered, and how she's altered and all that.
Would that other character that she bases herself on be Spider-Man?
No, like I said, in her universe, in the Cross Comics universe, there is. Yeah. I can tell Timothy says, not as bad as Rick's characters here.
I mean, this character is obviously based on Nightcrawler and Cable.
Let's see. I can tell the difference between Liefeld characters in Image Comics and Cable. But this is the same as Spider-Man said on a woman's body.
Thank you, Pope Raven.
Why can't you change? Because the Super Spider in their comic books, Joshua, is supposed to be a cross between Superman and Spider-Man.
Which is funny because Spider-Man is actually Marvel's answer to Superman and Batman.
Yeah, well, that's, I did a lot. Back when they did the whole amalgam thing, I did a whole bunch of combining of characters, and I combined Superman and Spider-Man, call them Super Spider.
Talk on it.
Rule 63.
Yeah, they did do an amalgam of Superman or Superboy and Spider-Man.
Yeah, didn't really like it, and that was more the whatchamacallit one, the Scarlet Spider.
Scarlet Spider was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, or when Ben Riley became Spider-Man actually more.
All right, so if I, being a creator, wanted to write a story about diligence, the opposite of sloth, and I wanted this story to take place within the universe of the Fairmount Fables, which is essentially the 100-Acre Woods, but instead of stuffed animals are just regular anthropomorphized, or what do you call them? What do you call an animal that can talk and have feelings and stuff like that?
Anthropomorphic.
Personification of a human? I don't know.
Anthropomorphic. You got it right the first time.
Okay, so what would be a good setup for a story about what's an animal that's known, other than the ant, that is known for its diligence? Or the bee. I think that's too on the nose. No insects, an actual animal that can be found in the North American continent. And nothing too big. It has to be in a park. No grizzly bears.
Raccoons?
I don't think they're diligent.
Pope Raven, suggesting a T-Rex. It's a good suggestion, but it doesn't meet one of the qualifications that I already set forward.
Timothy, my mom, and Flit said beaver. Arlene also said raccoon.
I gotta play What's the Record?
Oh, it's time for me to hit the hay. I'll talk to you guys later.
Anything you want to promote before you take up?
Become helpful, he leaves.
Oh, I'm thinking of an animal. If I find one, I'll put it in on Twitter or something. No, I don't have anything to promote. Just thanks for having me on.
Oh, no problem. Anytime.
I'll leave you guys. Have a good night. God bless.
God bless you, sir. Let's see. Arlene says if you want to see diligence, just watch the raccoons here on Trash Day.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Raccoons and trash or whatever. Timmy says
Elric says a tanuki. It's a Japanese raccoon. Are those found on the North American continent?
Timothy also adds horses, dogs are renowned for the diligence.
That's true. We don't have beavers here though. That's the only thing, and it takes place in this. Beavers are kind of like more in the up in the mountains in the wilds. They're not really found in like parks.
But you said North American continent.
I did, Rick. You're right. I did, but I also said a couple of other things like in a park.
Oh, I didn't hear that. We need a raccoon girl, says Dillard. She likes the raccoon.
Mapache. Yeah, raccoons, they're really fun. When I was first dating her, we used to hang out at that park, and that park is just overrun with raccoons.
Squirrel says, Rick, a furry. No, I'm not a furry.
Okay, that's a good idea. So we have squirrel, raccoon,
Horse,
beaver,
horse, dog,
and dog. Now, what could be a story? Story for kids about being diligent, being a hard worker. What could possibly be a lesson for children? A story that has a moral.
well, I know. I think squirrels are supposed to store up their stuff. They're diligent to store up their stuff for winter to get them through.
Mm-hmm.
No, Rick is a person. Can people go horseback riding in parks? Says Timothy. No, Rick is a person. Rick is Ronnie. Raccoons are just a menace. That's what I know. Yeah, but they're diligent at being a menace, Mom.
No, well, I already have a story featuring raccoons heavily, so I do want to try something different than a raccoon.
Yeah.
See, because originally I had a story about a rat. It was a rat, and it was almost like a flashback story, where he's telling us this story to his grandchild, and he's sitting in this den, a beautiful den, that he had dug out because he was making a life for himself and his wife. So he was essentially building his own little house for them because they were going to start their life. when one day a very large, corpulent, yes, I am talking about the Fables book, Mrs. Diller Draws. I am talking about that. Yeah, she knows that story that I wrote. One day they came along and there was a very, very fat possum had kind of just stuck his head into the house that he was building and was sleeping there. And he was very lazy, right? Very lazy possum. And so what happened was, in order to persuade this possum to leave, he kind of got it into him in an idea that they could make a house for him that would be more, suitable for his size and all that stuff, and he would like it more. So he actually got this possum to leave and go with him, and he helped the possum build a new house for himself, a new den. And then the possum, throughout the course of that, became very productive because he enjoyed it. So that was kind of like, the moral, and then he's just telling the story, to his grandson, whatever. So that originally that was the idea, but I want to rework some of these ideas. I wrote them a while ago, and I don't know.
Let's see. Arlene sort of goes along with my idea of the squirrel and the storing up food to show kids to think, plan ahead. Yeah, which could go along with a biblical lesson to count the cost, of things. If you don't.
Well, it's already a biblical lesson because these are virtues that God wants people to have.
Too much information, page 3. Raccoons and dogs don't get along. In fact, raccoons tease dogs to train their young, show them how dangerous they are, so you can have the raccoon and the dog just not like each other. That was from Elric.
Yeah, I could do that.
Timothy says it was then that the chipmunk learned to blind humans by ripping out their eyes.
No, Rick. All right.
No,
Rick
what?
Don't like my idea.
What was your idea?
My idea about the rats.
Oh, sounded good, yeah. I just didn't know. I thought you were just telling me. You weren't asking me what I thought of it. You also have ravens that are in parks, says Elric. Actually, you should do that story, Dillard, says Timothy. My mom says good night to everybody. See them tomorrow. See y'all tomorrow.
My. So this is kind of like what I was thinking, except that it was going to be a much more, what do you call it? More detailed. Let's see.
Pin screen. There we go.
And so, like, he would be, like sitting on an armchair, talking to his, telling the story. except he would be, he would look like a rat. Essentially, he would have very. They wouldn't. I wouldn't. I don't want to cartoonize it too much. I want them to have personalities and all that, but I want them to be very recognizable as a rat, like a real looking human rat, like not a human, but like a real life rat.
Anthropomorphic rat. What style are you going to do it in? Dillard asked Timothy.
Well, here I'll show you. I can show you. Let me. It's going to look like a. I don't know if you're familiar with the artist that did the Winnie the Pooh book. His name is E.H. Shepard.
I think so. Well, I think most people know the Winnie the Pooh book style. Anyways.
Yeah. Well, let me bring in. There's another book that he does called The Wind and the Willows, and that style is what I want to emulate. Well, let me show you. Let me find a good picture here. My favorite picture from The Wind and the Willows is where they're putting on Toad and Rat, and they're trying to get the Toad's mansion back. It got taken over by a bunch of no good weasels, and they're all getting ready to go and kind of do a raid on the house, and they're getting their swords and bucklers and pistols together.
Cool.
See if I can find it.
Alric says Mr. Toad, like from the Wild Ride at Disneyland.
Yes, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Yeah, that's from the story The Wind and the Willows. So it's going to be... Okay, I got it. Okay, so are you looking at my screen?
Yeah, it's on you.
Okay, it's going to be in this style. Kind of like this. They're making plans to go in there and take back the the mansion. Kind of like this. They're gonna have some clothes. They're not gonna be fully dressed like this, but for instance, the main character of the book, his name is Rowdy. He's the raccoon, and all he wears is like a backwards hat. You know what I mean? Some of the characters, one only wears a bandana around their neck, like a little scarf. Some of them actually have trousers and things like that. But that's kind of how it's going to be. But except I'm going to do it kind of more my style, like more rendered out.
Yeah.
And I can actually show you if I can find it. Let's see. With that piece that I did for Ethan, which is kind of the style that I wanted to do the Fairmount Fables, like the watercolorish over the pencils.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find that real quick. Oh, well, here's actually the cover that I wanted to do. This is Oliver. He's an owl. There it is, the Fairmount Fables. This isn't the cover, I mean, it's the title page.
Yeah.
And if I do get this funded well enough, I want it to be a hardcover book. And I do want this to be embossed in gold like this, just simple like this, the cover.
Cool.
Either gold on green or gold on brown leather. Let me try to find the other image.
Oh, Timothy says he likes that. No, that is dope.
Thank you. Huh. Wonder where I put that. Oh, here it is. I found it. So it'll kind of be like this, in this style.
Yeah.
Except with my characters, not Cyberfrog.
Looks like an old book.
Because it's going to have these nice, colorful illustrations, but it's not every page is going to have an illustration. It might be every third page will have an illustration.
Yeah. Howard says he remembers that drawing.
Yeah. So that's the way I want to do it. What do you think?
Sounds real good for sure.
So when are you planning on ending this stream, Rick?
Well, I was letting you say about all that stuff. I was just waiting until you were done, and then I was going to say anything you'd like to promote.
Yeah, keep an eye out for my upcoming book, The Fairmount Fables.
Cool.
Also, if you haven't yet, I have a book that's currently in demand on Indiegogo called The Buckler, and it's getting real close to getting finished. So if you want to get in on that, and you want to get the extra book and all the goodies that go along with it, I would definitely recommend that you go and back The Buckler as soon as you can. I'd appreciate it.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming on, John. Also, thanks to Sketchbook for coming on, if he's out there listening still. And thanks for everybody in the chat for coming and dropping by, talking, chatting, and all that. And remember, if you haven't, go back the Cross Comics Telling book. Even if you can only do it at the digital level, that's, enough people do it at that, and the book is fully funded. But, it's going to get printed no matter what, so that is good. So we'll catch you all tomorrow, hopefully catch you all later tomorrow. Bye for now. Oh yeah, Thursday high noon, there will be no Thursday high noon. I have to go out. So we'll catch you all later. Bye for now. God bless. Love you all. Have a great day.